Set up behind me are the 23Zero Bandit Swags. There's 3 sizes. They are loaded with doors and windows. They're nice and sturdy and roomy, easy to set up. I'm going to take you for a walk through. Let's check them out.
Hit it.
It's Ben from Snowy's here today, folks, with the 23Zero Bandit Swag range. Now, these are a really versatile and sturdy 3-hoop pole swag. There's 2 doors and windows on each side and vents at each end. They're roomy and sturdy. There's 3 sizes. The 900's in front of me here. The 1100 to my left here. Now, that's a roomy single person, squeezy double, but probably great for you and your dog. Or the Bandit 1400 to my right here. Now that's a double swag, so comfortably sleeps 2 people. The features are the same throughout. The only difference is the width and a little bit in height. Now, I want to mention the bag that they come in. You do get a really good quality canvas bag. It's the same canvas that the swag's made of. The zip runs across the top and down the side of the bag here. So it's really easy to get the swag in and out of. Nice heavy duty handles on the end. Long heavy duty straps over the top that run right under the bag. It's a really good bag that's going to keep your swag protected from the weather if it's stored on a roof rack, but also just protected if it's bouncing around in the back of the ute. Now, I'm going to take you for a walkthrough of the 900 in front of me here. Let's start with the fabrics. Now, the canvas 23Zero use is a high quality 400 GSM poly cotton canvas. It's got a nice tight weave, and on the underside is a durable urethane coating. It's not a cheap acrylic coating, so it's going to see years and years of use with this fabric here. Underneath that, we've got mesh panels. So wherever there's a window or a mesh panel, it's this heavy duty mesh. It's reasonably fine given how heavy duty it is, but that feels nice and strong. It doesn't feel like it's going to catch on any sticks or get prickles and things caught in it, but it wouldn't be midge proof. Not much is realistically midge proof. At the base, heavy duty PVC welded floor. And moving on to the poles, the top pole here, there's 2 ridge poles here. These are a steel ridge pole, and then these hoop poles here, which there's 3 of, is a 9.5mm T6 alloy anodized pole. Now, throughout, the swag is seam sealed, so all these seams that are exposed to the weather are seam sealed on the inside. Now, what that means is that your 23Zero swag is waterproof straight out of the box. There is no need to season a 23Zero swag. It's not going to hurt, but you don't need to do it. So buy your swag, chuck it in your car, and go camping. Don't stress about seasoning it. So just having a look at the general shape of the swag with 3 hoops. Now, these hoops are the same height, and it tapers down slightly at the foot end there. On each side of the swag, there's 2 doorways, and they're all the same. So these open up as awnings, or we could just roll this up if we like, up and out the way, and just have the mesh doorway here. We can roll this mesh doorway up as well to open it right up if we like. And the third option here is to use the eyelets that are in the corners of each of these doors and peg this out as a little awning over the doorway. Now, this setup here features on every one of these. So there's another one of those here. We've got the solid door, the mesh panel, and the eyelets in this door here. Same on the other side. So if we were to add 8 short awning poles and 8 more guy ropes to this setup, you could have your swag set up with little awnings out each side like this, if you liked. A lot of extra mucking around, probably handy maybe just for one for a bit of weather protected cooking or whatever you need to do just outside your swag, but the option's there. If we move down to the rear of the swag here, we'll show you the little gusset at the end here. Now, this is closed at the moment to give us full weather protection. If we unzip these 2 zips on the side here and use these guy ropes with the pegs that come included, you get enough pegs to set this up. Pull this out, it opens up this little gusset on the side here. It's got the Bandit 900 written on the side here too, which is kind of cool. And that gives us weather protected awning. There's a window inside here that we can open and close from the inside of the swag. I'll show you that shortly, but that gives us ventilation. Furthermore, there's a second zip at the base of this gusset. If we unzip that and roll this up all together to the top here, we can actually secure this up and out the way. And if we were to open up the solid canvas panel on the inside there, we've now got a mesh door or a mesh window that gives us ventilation at this end of the swag. That also features at the other end, so you've got ventilation on all sides of the swag. Before we go around the rest of the tent, I'll just show you these straps here. This is what we use to pack the swag up. These are actually sewn into the swag, so you can't lose them. They just stay attached at the end there. You can just tuck them up underneath while the swag's in use. Coming around to the other side of the tent here, we've got the same deal as we saw on the first side. We've got 2 storm flaps over mesh panels here. We can set them up as awnings if we like, roll them right up. So we've got 4 doorways or 4 entrances in total. Now the awning at the foot end, or the head end, sorry, here is slightly different than the foot end. We do have this little zippered gusset here that we can peg out for ventilation if we like. It has got the second zip up underneath here, so we can roll this up completely out the way. The difference is what's underneath here. Now at the foot ends, we can undo the canvas panel from inside the swag to reveal a mesh panel. We can't undo the mesh panel at the foot end. This is the head end, which is slightly different. So we've got a canvas panel here. I think they call this a shooter's window. So if people are hunting, they can be inside the swag and still see outside the swag through a small window. So we can roll this open. It gives us a mesh panel underneath there. We can secure that back if we like. And we can also open this mesh panel for access inside. Now I wouldn't call this a doorway. You could certainly get in there, pretty squeezy, but probably more access in and out of the tent. Or I think the hunters, I'm not a hunter myself, but I think that's a feature that hunters would use, in that they can stay weather protected inside their swag and use this to see whatever they're hunting. That's all the features on the outside of the Bandit swag. I'm going to unzip the sides, jump inside and show you in there. Now I've got these doors and mesh panels open up on this side here, both solid and mesh. On the other side, I've just rolled up the solid panels, so they're just mesh showing for ventilation. Now the frame shape of these hoops in the Bandit, rather than being a curve like this, kind of have corners, so they're more like this. What that does is give us a bit more head space inside, but it's still not enough to sit upright. I've got about 65 centimeters at this end and down to about 60 centimeters at the foot end. That increases by about 5 to 10 centimeters as you go up in the width of the swag, so the 1100 and the 1400. But what it does mean is that these doors kind of sit out a little bit from the middle here, and if I'm sitting up on the side of the swag, I need to be right over on the side of the mat to be able to sit upright, and this door is just at the back of my neck. Probably a small thing, but just one thing I noticed. But hey, when you're inside the swag, you got more headspace. Now what I'm sitting on here is a 7 centimeter high density foam mattress. Now I'm not touching the ground sitting on this at the moment. It feels really comfortable. It does have a removable cover on it, so there's a zipper here, so we can remove the foam and wash the cover if we like. With regards to the space inside the tent here, we've got a little bit less. It's called the 900, which suggests it's 90 centimeters wide, and that's an external dimension. On the inside here, it's just less than that, about 85, 87 centimeters with the mat. And lengthwise, I've got about probably 205 to 210 centimeters of sleeping space in length. I'm 185 centimeters long. If I lay down in here, I've got headspace. I've got a hand and a bit, or about a hand's length above my head here, and my feet are, if I point my toes, I can just touch the end there. So I've got plenty of room in here for a nice bulky sleeping bag. These end walls are nice and upright, so lots of sleeping space. Other features inside the tent, starting at this end, we've got this shooter's window that I had showed you before, that I can open and close from the inside here, both the solid and the mesh panels, so I can access right outside the tent. And then coming down to the foot end here, we've got another little window, but not full access to the outside. I can open this panel here and roll it back. There's a tab there to roll it back. And I've then got this mesh panel, but that doesn't open. The mesh panel always stays closed. And the last feature we've got inside here are just a couple of mesh storage pockets, one on this side, one on this side. This is only at the foot end in the Bandit, so you only get a couple, but it's a good place to keep your necessities at hand so you don't lose them overnight. Look, I reckon this is a pretty livable swag. If you were to bunker down in the weather for a little while, you've got a bit of room inside this one. Really versatile with the amount of doors and windows you can open, so you can really customize how you want the weather to sort of flow through your tent, ventilation through your tent, and they're nice and sturdy too. You can grab them online at snowies.com.au at our lowest prices every day. If you've got any questions, let us know down in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel, you'll get all of our latest and greatest information, or check out some other 23Zero swags like this one down here.